Hi everyone, I'm Mash. I'm a small plastic steampunk robot. Don't ask me how it works. I bet you're wondering how I got into this situation. Well, funny story. It's about love, requited and unrequited. The joy of a girl and the monster who wanted her for himself. On this station. I remember how it started as if it was yesterday. My father, a mad scientist, was taking care of a girl named Mina, who only wanted a little robot to love. Me! Steamgear Mash is cute as a button. It loves its aesthetic and wants you to love it too. It was developed by Tamsoft, the team who did Battle Arena Toshinden, who went on to make many of the simple 2000 games. It was published by Takara, a toy company who you might remember as the one who created the Transformers. Steamgear Mash is an isometric platformer similar to Sonic 3D Blast. It scrolls very fast for 2D games of the early 90s. The graphics are the early 90s NURB type, like you see in Donkey Kong Country. That is, the objects are built from curved surfaces rather than straight-up polygons. The game controls are superb. Mostly, I'll get into that. The music is amazing Red Book audio of chiptunes and guitars. Listen. But because this game isn't Burning Rangers, it uses dithering for transparency rather than true transparency, which means when Mash dies, you can't see his death animation. Probably for the best, anyhow. This game has lots of different enemy types. However, they mostly move around on the track and shoot at you. There's one very needy enemy type in a green hat that grabs onto Mash until they're out of energy. But other than that, they're pretty much consistent. So if you don't understand Japanese, the game may confuse you a bit. Mash will come to these colored blocks, and if you stand on them, the game will tell you that you need an alternate weapon that you don't have yet to destroy them. Mash starts out with the bomb as his alternate weapon, and each of them consume the gauge adjacent to their icon. You can find some of them in crates around the level, like this boxing glove. However, the most important ones are gained by defeating bosses. So the game has 6 levels, 2 auto-scrollers, and 4 multi-tiered. And by that I mean there are sub-stages in the level where if you fall down, you'll land on another sub-stage and have to climb back up to where you were before. Higher sub-stages are always progress. The game starts out with Mash in a box. Hi, Mash! Mash starts out with a regular blaster and with bombs as their alternate weapon. There's another box in this tutorial level that shows you that good things are always found inside these boxes. Mash bashes down this door and starts their first proper level. The first level shows the ambition, which is scaled back in the later multi-tiered stages. It is long, several sub-stages of twisty platforms and simple enemies. The earliest enemies have the best balance. The weak ones go down in a weak shot, and the strong ones go down from a charged shot. In later levels though, you'll need 3 or more charged shots to take them down, meaning that traversing the later levels tends to be a slog if you don't hover past them while taking a chance on damage. Here, on this first level, Mash finds 2 alternate weapons. This spread shot, which fires 5 shurikens in a row, and this boxing glove, which we saw before. They need the latter to destroy a box that blocks the way to the boss room, but the spread shot is optional. Oh, and we should talk about the trigger button controls. So Mash can walk around a level normally with a D-pad. However, they also have a moveset mapped to the right trigger. Lock keeps Mash facing in a single direction while they move about. Stop keeps them in place and lets them rotate their upper half freely. Roll spins their upper half around automatically so they can fire at everyone around them easily. Back simply makes their upper half face the opposite direction, which is useful when they are running away. There's also dash to run at twice their speed, and sight, which I didn't find and GameFAQs isn't sure what it does. Mash finds his movesets in boxes as they proceed through the levels. So the exit to the next level is always within the level itself, except it needs the item dropped by the boss in order to destroy it. So Mash has no choice but to face the boss. Once the punching glove has decimated the box to the boss arena, Mash is ready to face the card-spinning puppet. It spins 4 cards around itself and reveals 1. Spade and club rain missiles on you. Diamond rains fists on you, which can do even more damage. Heart, though, gives you some health-restoring hearts, so try not to destroy that one. There's also a 5th card the boss will reveal if you hit them enough times, the Joker. It just picks you up and throws you down for 1 point of damage. Mostly, it just wastes your time. The designers intended for you to destroy this boss by first taking out the cards and then directly attacking them. But you can cheese them by shooting slightly to the right of where the cards stop. Mash's charged shots will do direct damage to him. They'll start blowing fire at Mash too. But part of this trick is that the boss will present the first card you shoot back to you. So if you hit the heart card and then never shoot another card, the boss will keep presenting to you the heart card for free health ups. Most of the non-autoscroller bosses have some kind of AI exploit you can use against them. Anyhow, when the puppet is defeated, it drops the alternate weapon you need to progress. The flamethrower. It's a very useful weapon. It gets matched to that block that they couldn't do anything with before. The second level is fairly straightforward. It's multi-tiered as well, but pretty much a straight shot from the start to the boss with only a couple detours in the way. Also, I want to mention the save system. It's pretty interactive. You start on a block and pick from a series of 4 balls that first represent the yes-no decision about whether you want to save, and then the save slot number itself. There are 4 slots to choose from. It's very Metroid. Also, you are seeing this correctly. Mash is a cat following them around. In fact, there are multiple cats that Mash can collect. I checked the interblobs and no one has any idea what the cats do, so feel free to speculate in the comments. Now that the enemies are a little more difficult, Mash needs to use their charge shot to take them out. There's just a minor problem. Being a 3/4 perspective game, everything moves at 45-degree angles. And I don't know what the issue is, but I had a bear of a time getting Mash to aim at anything at 45-degree angles. Even when I used an analog or digital controller, when I aimed at 45 degrees, Mash either aimed up or right. It made things difficult. Not impossible, just more difficult than they needed to be. Anyhow, Mash's next boss is a snake made up of separate sprites. Mash has to break every segment of its body and finally shoot its head to defeat it. It's in a small chamber though, which makes it pretty exciting or frustrating fight, depending on how well you can manipulate the boss. I found the best strategy was to run from one end to the other to stretch it out, and then wait for it to shoot at you. It doesn't move while it's shooting, so Mash can take that time to fry up its joints. You want to keep it off that raised purple platform though, because your flamethrower can't hit it if it's too high off the ground. Also remember to target its shadow on the floor, not its sprite. Anyhow, rinse, repeat, and it's done. And for Mash's troubles, they get the Ice Beam. This freezes enemies solid. Mash takes care of another block with their new weapon. And then it's off to our first autoscroller. In stage 3, Mash fits into a submarine with a regular shot and missiles. These autoscroller levels are great because the missiles just plow through the enemies and leave you with health pickups all over the place. The boss is a trick though. It's a badass robot orca with a skull and crossbones on its forehead. It drops a mine that can zap Mash, but worse, it diverts Mash's missiles away from the boss. You can destroy it, but the boss spawns another. But just keep shooting, and eventually the boss goes down. The next level is kinda twisty, but it does provide another cap. Also, like every non-autoscroller level, it has a warp room, which allows you to warp to any non-autoscroller level that you've been to, so you can go back to pick up any alternate weapons you might have missed. And speaking of which, here's where you get your next weapon. The missiles. The same missiles you use in the autoscroller segments. Pretty cool. Anyhow, the boss for this stage is a little mecha who is so easy I accidentally cheesed it on my second run to it. Just keep throwing missiles at it until it falls. Well, Mash is getting closer to that satellite. In stage 5, they're in an airplane and another autoscroller. I found the best technique is to mash both fire buttons so Mash is issuing a hail of death from their plane. The boss at the end is a gigantic sprite that fires its own missiles at you. The trick is that there are two types, one that shoots at you horizontally, which you can avoid when you see coming, one that tracks you which you need to shoot down. Mash needs to destroy its missile turrets, and after that, the boss plane loses its tail and blows up. And then, it's off to space. Stage 6 is on the enemy satellite itself, and it has a nasty gimmick. Mash might start by clearing out all the enemies in this level, and that would be a mistake. The room is surrounded by platforms which are too high for Mash to jump on. It turns out, Mash needs to use the freeze spray on those little trash can enemies, and then jump on them when they are frozen to reach higher ground. And they need to do this throughout the level. The game expects you to figure this out with no clues at all. The level itself involves some rather sketchy platforming over a pit of many enemies. Mash can pick up the final alternate weapon here, the heal beam, which converts weapon ammo to hearts. Fortunately, like with all boss fights, there's a save room right before the actual fight. And now, Mash faces the final boss, a giant laser-spewing mecha, which, after repeated attempts, I cheese by standing in a particular spot and just shooting it with my normal weapons. The AI tries to hit Mash by shooting and doing a slash, neither of which hit them in that spot. Feel free to steal this strat if you want to try to speedrun the game. However, it's not over yet. The boss reveals their true form, a small Steamgear just like Mash. It hops around and fires both a charged blast and an 8-fold spread of concussive blasts. But once Mash hits it with enough missiles and charge shots, we get our ending. Wait, did I say ending? Sorry, there's one last level to go. Mash needs to carry Mina through the station before it blows up. This is where the multi-tiered nature of this level comes in handy, because Mash can just jump down into a pit to skip a bunch of the level. Unfortunately, they have only 30 seconds, and if they don't make it... But it's okay, because they do. Steamgear Mash is a gorgeous if frustrating experience. For one of the earliest Saturn titles, it's striking how well Tamsoft pulled off a buttery smooth platformer. The full motion video is a bit janky, and half the bosses took me many attempts to figure out. So if you're going to follow me down the Steamgear path, understand that this is an early attempt on a new platform. But it's a joy to watch, and Mash is the cutest avatar. WayForward Games? Get the rights to this and do your magic. Please. Thank you everybody for watching this. I haven't been putting out videos in a while because I've been working on a video game. I will put up a video of it when it is complete. Thanks everybody for your patronage.